like seeing the boogeyman hanging out with cryptids rolling dice in your front yard? I know I do. If you want to see all the crazy things happening right outside your house, check out TNVC.com.
Hello, Internet, and welcome to another ARFCOM Review. Today, we are graced with the Holosun SCS 320, made for the Sig 320 specifically. We're going to go over all of its features, our experience with it, and we're going to talk about just generally what our impression was. We get to shoot red dots and guns and stuff all the time, and we'll give you guys some feedback before a bunch of y'all go and buy these things so that you guys can kind of know what to expect.
So what is the Holosun SCS 320? SCS stands for Solar
Carry Site, I believe. Check the internet. Correct us if we're wrong.
Specifically, I bullet point a lot of this stuff because it's the way my brain works. When they were designing this to go be both a top screw down thing so it could sit as low as possible on the slide so you don't need like an adapter plate or anything weird, and they wanted it to be an enclosed emitter because for concealed carry you're the most likely to get like belly button lint or sweat or whatever disgusting nonsense. Yeah. So in the interest of protecting your emitter from that, they went for a closed emitter. And there's a lot of companies going to that. The Acro probably, I don't know if that was the first or not, but a lot of people that are starting to make, there's this whole push for closed emitters. Andrew from ARFCOM News can go and
don't let him get started.
Beat his drum about this.
Closed emitters have the potential to get stuff in them less.
Yeah.
Because they're closed, but you can still get like goo
Stuff
on the front, on the glass.
Okay. So the way they accomplished this was they did it with the Delta Point Pro footprint. So if you own a Sig 320 and it happens to be cut for the Delta Point Pro, you won't need a plate. This will go right on there. They did that.
Also sitting a bit lower.
Yeah, they did that to allow it to sit lower, but also to have top-down screws and the closed emitter all in one footprint without any extra junk on there. They also have an internal battery, which we'll talk about later, that doesn't need to be changed out. So since there's not a readily available exchange, you don't have like a tray to pull out. There's no cap to screw off or anything like that. They were able to actually make it pretty compact given what it's trying to accomplish and all that stuff. And I think it was pretty like. Having actually played with it and for it being designed specifically for concealed carry, not having that shelf on the back, and again, I'm giving it the comparison to the Acro because that's what everyone's going to compare it to. That shelf is going to be what's likely going to get you to print. Beaver tails and then the pistol grip portion of handguns tend to cause printing, and if you're going through the effort of sticking something in your pants to conceal carry it, you would care. Definitely. So print less.
Unless you carry with like a funky pocket holster or something. You're one of those guys.
Like that, yeah.
I see you at Walmart. I know you're talking about.
So I thought it was wise. Having played with it, it did feel appreciably smaller. I think also the body of it, I don't notice the body of it as much.
Yeah, exactly. They're similar in size, but because of that cutout there, it just feels a heck of a lot smaller. And the carry thing, I think that's a huge win. If people are concerned about the battery, how long does that last?
Is it 20,000 hours?
20,000 hours.
So without even the help of the solar little panel thing on there, it's supposed to just last 20,000 hours like you would any other battery, which most people, let's be honest, like don't carry that often or leave something in there for forever. That's going to cover you for a long time. What's cool about this one specifically is similar to the 507K models that had a solar panel for recharging. This not only recharges it, it also will fully run it. Even in like a barely lit room, it'll fully run on full power without pulling anything out of the battery. So it's effectively like the battery sitting there on the shelf 9 times out of 10 when it's in use. So that's apparently they did some whiz-bang magic to make the emitter more efficient. It's a 3 reticle setting system. I'm not a huge fan of circle dots in general.
Holosun is.
Holosun is.
Yeah.
But the dot itself is crisp enough given what I'm working with here. And also, like, it's bright, like super bright for being an auto setting. You can force onto full blast or make it an auto setting like adjustment or an auto brightness adjustment. I had no issues. We were sitting here like covering it up and then pointing it at the light.
Right.
And it's never...
And we also let it sit in the safe for a couple of weeks, pulled it out. The battery will probably last as long as you want that optic, because by the time it's starting to be an issue, you're probably going to already be buying something else.
With battery technology as it is, I don't think it's an outrageous claim to say that's going to last 6 years without changing a battery. Right. If it accomplishes that, I think it's a win.
I mean, I'm sure, and I'm sure that there's going to be people that, just feel better knowing they can replace the battery.
Sure.
I understand that argument. That was my initial thought as well. Yeah. But when I really started to think about it, like, yeah, if it's a lithium-ion battery in there that's going to be lasting for years on end, by the time that it's an issue, I'm already going to be on to whatever the next Gucci optic is 5 years from now, right?
Yeah, I'm really curious to see some testing on that long term. I mean, obviously, this is something that we won't be doing, but I'm sure someone out there on the internet is willing to kind of put the time into like tracking and quantifying that,
because it would be or something like that. Like, hey, my SCS is still chugging along. Yeah.
Who knows though, right? Because it may be something that maybe there is some issue as far as the size of the battery. I mean, we have pretty reliable battery technology. Then again, I took some batteries out that said they had 10 years on them, and after 5 years, they have literally no charge.
I have MSRP's is 470, I believe, and I think searching around, I hunt for deals periodically. If you guys would know, go check that out.
Check out the deals page. We can't tell you what it is though.
Yeah, but we saw it as low as $399, and that's without
considering that's brand new. Like it just dropped.
That's what I'm saying. That just dropped. That's not like a PSA deal. That's not with a coupon code or whatever. If these are coming in the mid threes, that's going to be competitive for the features that you're getting at. They're made to match the slide cuts for those of you that care. We have a super fancy slide. It's like a Spectre slide.
I think they're both Spectres, yeah.
So it doesn't match that, but if you get one and you have a 320 and it has regular slide, this will work for that on the Delta Point Pro footprint. So I'm going to go with the best feature that I think it had and then the worst feature I think it had. The best feature was there's two sensors basically. Normally you have just an ambient sensor on most red dots, and it's going to say, hey, what's the lighting environment for the shooter? I'm going to adjust the red dot to that. If you go up to your red dot that's got an auto brightness, cover it up and you'll watch it dim and brighten. This has two. This has one that does ambient, but another one that actually projects out towards the target, and I thought, bullshit. And then I actually watched it, and sure enough, like I said, we were pointing it at a light, covering it, getting into complete darkness, and never once did I see this thing not become visible. And we were zeroing in the summer in Texas.
Pointing at the sun.
During the awning.
Yeah.
And
it was bright.
It was crazy bright. And then we're in the worst case scenario of being fully shaded, and we're shooting at 25 yards and easily able to see what we're supposed to be shooting at. That being said, let's say you need to change the reticles, or you want to change there's like a force it onto bright setting or not. That is like the worst button to ever exist on red dots ever.
Well, yes and no. So if you're talking about tactile feel, it's not super tactile.
Yeah.
But the counter argument to that would be, are you going to catch that button on anything? No.
Yeah.
You're going to have to be very deliberate to push that. So
it's not designed to be moved on the fly. You just set it and you leave it there. You'd have to sit there and get a screwdriver and do the whole nine. This is, I think, designed in that way. You're not supposed to sit there and click through your brightness settings to get it down to your night vision setting or whatever. It's on the right side, and so for right-handed shooters, that button is. I could see you nailing that on a holster, nailing that if you're like putting it in there, which is sketchy, hitting that on your belt buckle or something like that. But what I'm getting at is that even if you're practicing, right, and you have to come out of the holster multiple times, it's incredibly unlikely that you end up changing the setting.
You probably won't need to hit the button anyway, to be honest with you.
Well, and that's kind of, I think, as much as I sit there and throw a big fit about the button just because I had to push it so many times.
Well, that's because, exactly, because we're wanting to cycle through it, play with all of the,
If the engineer sat down and said, I want to make an optic, and I want to make it specifically for concealed carry, and I want to hedge all my bets I can on that, what do I want? I don't want to have to mess with the battery that often. Well, how about never? I don't want to have to worry about, even if my battery dies, that my optic still works. You only do it one of two ways. You either have backup irons or have it to where it can run off of, it's kind of cool like the calculators we had as kids.
Oh, yeah.
That just ran no matter what. And we used to have fun like covering them up or doing whatever. This literally, unless you covered it up, if it's got any semblance of light, it's supposed to be able to run at full blast.
Well, I mean, it should automatically, just because I don't know that we actually killed the battery.
Sure.
So that it was ever actually working on that. But if it was.
Yeah. But I don't want to accidentally change the setting. I don't want to get my Doritos in it. And I don't want, I don't want to have to mess with the battery because then I'm having to rechange zero. I might not have any of these opportunities in a concealed carry setting to alleviate any of these when I need the gun. I haven't messed with this thing in 3 months. Hopefully it works. But if this thing holds up as well as any of the other historic legacy optics from Holosun, that's a slam dunk. I really think and a lot of people might gripe about it because this is not entry-level red dot price. This is going to be about mid-tier. You're going
to mid to top tier.
Mid to top tier on price.
$400 on sale, you can get an RMR.
Yeah, but it won't be closed emitter. It won't be whatever. Won't. You have to still change the battery. You're going to have to still take it off. So I think for people that like the options, this makes a lot of sense. But and maybe Holosun's at that point where they're able to go call for those prices because they're offering those things. They can offer it reliably. And if that's the case, that's cool. It's more options for the consumer, and I think that's good for us overall. So I'd really like to see that.
Exactly.
Yeah. If you own one of these, give us your feedback in the comments below. If you guys would like to see other firearms or optics or two-way related gear for us to review, please ask us in the comments below. Go check out any of the other videos that we've done. We will have a library of them here soon. And then come stay tuned because I believe we plan to do these weekly.
Yep.
How would they support us to make sure that we do it weekly?
Oh, by supporting our sponsors. Boom. Give them a shout out. Check them out. Consider supporting them because they support us.
Yeah.
Come see all the random things I'm forced to make on Instagram at ar15.com. Please help us. I need new lenses. Also, come check us out on Discord. We have a Discord if you're a creature of the internet and you like to chat with people on, it's almost like a forum. You have to type your text
Your
comments.
opinions.
It's crazy. Check us out on Discord.
Yeah, it's going to be cool.
Have a great day.
I'm stuck moderating that. Please behave yourself as best as GD can.
You're going to get that
himself.
spicy band hammer.
Same code of conduct, suckers.
Yeah. So anyways, go check us out on that. Go do the likes, the subscribes, and all that stuff. And then we will see you guys in the next one. Until then, stay safe or be dangerous.
Wolverines.